These are the craziest things football players bought with their first check.
Are you ready to have your mind blown?
And we gotta start with Cristiano Ronaldo, who had just signed his first big contract with Manchester United and decided it was time for a glow-up. Ronaldo may be the hottest man alive today, but back then, he was an ugly little kid. So, Ronaldo knew he had to change something if he wanted to start getting some bitches. He took his first check and blew it on expensive hair treatment, a new set of teeth, crazy cosmetic surgery, and a brand new wardrobe to transform from a nerdy boy into a global sex icon that women just can't resist. But just like all these women couldn't resist CR7, Messi couldn't resist blowing his first check on an addiction that almost ended his career. Lionel Messi had just signed his first big contract with Barcelona and decided to blow it all on a dangerous addiction. Because when Messi was younger, he had a problem. He was addicted to junk food. And when you give a kid with a junk food addiction his first big paycheck, you gotta have seen this one coming. Messi started to drop thousands of dollars on candy bars and soft drinks until he spent so much money that his manager Pep Guardiola had to put an end to this. He banned all soft drinks from Barcelona to save Messi from going broke and put him back on track to becoming the GOAT. But not all these players are spending their millions on themselves, because Kylian Mbappe had a much better idea of what to do with the fat bag he got for winning the World Cup. You see, growing up, Mbappe never had much money, but he always had the talent to make it to the top of the game and make millions. So, when he got given a check for $500,000 in 2018, he just had to donate the entire check to charity. That's a touch of class from Kylian, but I can't say the same about Italian striker Mario Balotelli, because when he finally got his big move to AC Milan and got given a check the size of a phone number, he showed that he had a lot more money than he had sense and blew this check on some of the craziest purchases I've ever seen. He bought a $2 million mega mansion that came with a fountain made out of solid gold, a wine cellar, a private cinema, his own football pitch, and to top it all off, he built a giant statue of his footballing idol, himself. Then Balotelli obviously had to cop a supercar to match the house and drop $240,000 on a Ferrari 458 Italia. But his best purchase was his secret to keeping a low-key life. You see, Balotelli was sick of being in the spotlight for the world to see, so he wanted to start moving in the shadows a bit more, and that's why he wrapped his Bentley Continental GT in camouflage, so that wherever he would go, nobody would be able to see him. Maybe Diego Maradona could have learned a thing or two from Mario about staying low-key, because when Maradona got his big money move to Barcelona, he did anything but keep it on the low, and that almost ruined his football career forever. You see, on the 4th of June 1982, Maradona signed for Barcelona, receiving one of the craziest checks in football history, so he knew he had to flex on all the haters. He copped a Ferrari and a Rolls-Royce, a couple of luxury mansions, and even a couple Rolexes to really flex on all the broke boys. But his spending obsession went too far when it turned illegal, and it all got caught on camera, almost ruining his career. That may have been one of the craziest ways a football star blew his first check, but things actually only get crazier from here, like how Neymar spent his $15 million check to fulfill his childhood dream. Growing up, Neymar always loved superheroes, and his favorite superhero of all time has got to be Batman. So, growing up, Neymar always dreamed of moving to Gotham City to fight crime with Batman, but when he was told that wasn't a real place, he was devastated, so he just had to drop $15 million out of his new PSG contract on a custom Batman helicopter. He's even been spotted rolling around in the Batmobile looking for the Joker. But the only Joker we could find was Jemba Jemba, because this man was laughing all the way to the bank with the amount of money he was making at 22 from his first pro deal with Man United. But dude had no concept of money, he just kept buying car after car and house after house. At one point, man had 30 bank accounts with all the money he was spending. But this first check wasn't enough for him to sustain these insane spending habits, and he ended up going broke just a couple of years later. Now, going broke may happen to some football stars, but when you were getting checks the size Wayne Rooney was getting, it was almost impossible to go broke. You see, back in 2010, Rooney signed a brand new deal with Man United. He got a check so big that he didn't know what to do with all that money, so his wife stepped in, booking a luxury holiday in Dubai, staying in a room costing $3,000 a night, sipping wine that costs $100 a glass. But Rooney needed a better way to spend his check, and that's when he found his new obsession with racehorses. Man caught 3 horses and even got a horse whisperer to help the stallions bring home gold in the competition, but these were just a complete waste of money because not a single one of his horses ever won a race. Now, Rooney wasn't the only football legend to drop stupid money on horses, because Sergio Ramos also started to drop some serious cash on these racehorses. But unlike Rooney's trio of loser horses, Ramos only knew how to win. And that's why he picked some of the fastest horses in all of Spain. His obsession with horses grew so large that he started spending every check he got on luxury horse paintings worth thousands of dollars. But paintings only look good in a museum. Ramos has got to learn how to really flex on Instagram like Emre Mor did with his first check. This kid dropped $200,000 on a brand new Audi sports car, but a car wasn't enough for him because man had to show the world that he was really the king. So he dropped $1 million on a luxury home, which he turned into a castle, and dropped bank on a completely iced-out throne. But this didn't last for long because all this money got to his head, and soon after his Instagram flex sessions, Emre Mor got dropped by his club. But that's nowhere near as crazy as where Ronaldinho blew his first check. You see, Ronaldinho grew up getting bullied, and people always used to make fun of him for his awful teeth and told him he looked like a horse. But Ronaldinho knew he had the talent to make it as a pro, and he worked every day to prove these haters wrong. And when he got his first check from Barcelona back in 2003, he wanted to get his teeth fixed and fast. But he couldn't risk the surgery going wrong and ruining his career, so man saved his first check all the way until 2013 when he finally copped a new pair of pearly whites, leaving our guy looking as handsome as ever. And speaking about handsome, you won't believe how David Beckham spent his $250 million check that LA Galaxy gave him when he arrived in the MLS back in 2007. Beckham loved to spend money, and that's why he copped a $25 million apartment in the heart of Miami. It even had its own helipad so that his boy Neymar could come visit. But this was all for a reason. You see, Beckham's Miami apartment was all part of his plan to make his own team, dropping another $25 million to create Inter Miami FC, which is now one of the biggest clubs in the MLS, signing the GOAT, Lionel Messi. Now, if you think Messi is actually the GOAT, you should check out this video. But if you think Ronaldo is the GOAT, you should check this one out instead.